Thank you. Huxley Hale, good afternoon. My name is Annette Bryan, and I'm Huxley Hale. Good afternoon. My name is Annette Bryan, and I'm a councilwoman for the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. And I bring you the greetings of Chairman Bill Sterrud and Vice Chairwoman Sylvia Miller, who unfortunately were not able to make it today. And also want to acknowledge my fellow councilman James Rideout, who is here with me today. First, I'd like to thank Chairman Schatz and Ranking Member Murkowski for the opportunity to present this testimony. I also want to thank Senator Cantwell for her tireless work on behalf of Indian country generally and on S 382 specifically. Without Senator Cantwell, we would not be here today. The Puyallup Tribe is a signatory to the Treaty of Medicine Creek. Under this treaty, the tribe reserved a 20,000-acre reservation, which was to be a permanent homeland for my tribe. However, the ink had barely dried on the treaty when concerted efforts were undertaken to take our tribe's land. Over the next 50 years after the treaty, most of the land within our reservation was taken as a result of spurious acts of Congress, illegal sales of reservation lands, and outright theft. But in 1983, the tribe's title to the bed of the Puyallup River and adjacent exposed lands, including lands within the Port of Tacoma, was confirmed by the federal court. This decision gave rise to a historic settlement agreement between 12 parties, including the tribe, the city of Tacoma, the Port of Tacoma, the state of Washington, and the federal government, which was enacted by Congress. The Settlement Act restored the tribe nearly 1,000 acres of land, including lands within the Port of Tacoma. Today, while the Puyallup Reservation consists of approximately 28 square miles, we have 1,252 acres of land held in trust by the United States for the tribe or our members, which is less than 8% of the entire reservation. And we are one of the most urban reservations in the country. Our efforts to restore our homeland to trust is complicated by the fact that the city of Tacoma is in the location of multiple kinds of industrial activities. Thus, most of the tribe's territory is contaminated by legacy pollution, which means that while the land is now cleaned up to federal and state standards, some measure of the contaminants can still be detected. When our land was taken from us, it was clean, and it breaks our elders' hearts that the land has any contamination on it at all, when our ancestors fought so hard to protect and preserve these lands for future generations. S 382 will restore the tribe's place along Commencement Bay and will expand the tribe's presence along the Blair Waterway. We have the support of the City of Tacoma, Pierce County, the Port of Tacoma, and the State of Washington. Our plans for these lands are exciting. The property along the Blair Waterway is critical to fulfilling the promise of the Puyallup Land Settlement, which is over 30 years old now, which recognized the tribe's right to engage in foreign trade. This land is adjacent to our existing Settlement Act trust land that is designated a foreign trade zone. By adding this land to the port, the tribe is well positioned to develop a 21st century shipping terminal and become the first international tribal trade center in modern times. The property along Commencement Bay will be the first Puyallup Tribal Trust land along these sacred waters in more than 100 years. On this property, we are planning a first-of-its-kind, indigenous, internationally inspired restaurant, which will introduce the food of my people to the people from around the world. And we're partnering with celebrated chef Roy Yamaguchi on this venture. We are so excited, and I'm sure you know where Roy's is, Chairman. We are so excited about these opportunities, but it is the restoration of these lands to tribal trust status that means the most to us. We lost so much of our land, and it's the Tribal Council's goal to restore as much of this land as possible in our lifetime. By doing this, we are fulfilling the hopes of our ancestors when they signed the treaty and reserved these lands for our permanent homelands. Before I finish, I want to add my voice in support of S 1322, the Unlocked Act. Puyallup Tribe is one of 59 tribes that sought the right to extend leasing authorities, and we saw this as critical to our efforts to further economic development. I thank the chairman for your leadership on this issue. I'd also like to thank Senators Hogan and Smith for sponsoring S 1308 to the committee, so the committee, which I'm an alternate on, can finish our important work on the Progress Act. And finally, I want to thank you for the chance to testify, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.